So hi everyone, it's good to see you again. And let me start off by just saying again that my name is Kay Healy, and I am coming to you from South Philadelphia, from my studio where I make my artwork. And today we're going to talk about making our own origami books. So that's what we'll be working on today. But before we do that, I just wanted to show you another art piece that I made here in my studio. So you guys see this? It's a fabric guitar, so it doesn't work very well. You can't really play it. But this guitar actually has a story behind it. I did this project where I asked lots of different people, almost, I think more than 40 people. And I asked them to describe something that they had lost that they wish they still had. So my friend Sam, she described this guitar that she got when she was in high school. She saved up and she bought it. And she really wanted to start a band. But she actually ended up going to college, and she now does fashion design. So she ended up not going the musical route. But when she was in college, her mom sold her guitar. She sold it in a garage sale. And Sam knew that, she wasn't necessarily destined to become a musician, but she was pretty upset that her guitar was gone. So what I did was I asked people to describe an object they had lost that they wish they still had. And then I drew it, and then I screen printed it, and then I sewed it and stuffed it. And so this is one of those pieces. And anyway, I was thinking maybe for our introductions today, and I'll have to unmute you, but I was thinking you could just say your name again, just to remind everyone. And maybe you can talk about something that you lost that you wish you still had. Okay, so yeah, Vrishab, I'm gonna unmute you.
So my name is Vrishab, and I had a camera that I lost on the banks of a river in Ohio. So
what kind of camera was it?
It was a camera.
Yeah, like what kind? Was it a digital camera?
Oh yeah, it was it was a digital camera. It wasn't very new. It wasn't very old, but yeah. And they had a ton of pictures on it, so.
Oh no, so you lost the picture.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so you would do your, and I will, thank you. You will do your camera, because I think later we're gonna do a book where we draw in something you've lost that you wish you still had. All right, who wants to go next? Grace, go. I think I've unmuted.
I don't really have anything. Like I used to, but then I got over it and I don't really care about it anymore, so I don't really want it anymore.
Okay, well what did it used to be? What was
it was like a stuffed animal from a movie, a little fox squirrel.
Oh, a little fox squirrel.
Oh wait, I remember something else that I lost actually. It was like a purple crystal necklace, I think.
Oh. How'd you lose it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, so maybe you can draw your purple crystal necklace for yours. Thank you, Grace. All right, Zach, you want to go? Here we go.
My name is Zach, and one thing that I lost that I wish I still had was there's this really soft penguin plushie, and it was like the super softest thing, and I lost it.
Do you remember how you lost it or no?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I remember losing my stuffed animals as a kid too. So, yeah, so anyway, I recreated a lot of objects. Some of them were stuffed animals. Oh, Vrishab, you have a question?
I I've lost tons of things at school, and I know I've lost them at school, but then the next day when I try to go there, they're all gone. So it's like there are things that you don't really care about, but it's just funny how many things that you lose at the exact same place.
Yeah, yeah. I think it can be frustrating sometimes.
Yeah. But usually they don't. Usually they're not that like they're not items that really matter to you.
Yeah, I was very interested with this project, right? So a guitar is kind of a really cool object, but a lot of the objects were very simple things that you could replace. But for example, I used to do Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and that means that I hung out with someone who wasn't really my sister, but we sort of had a sisterly relationship. And she was 8 when we started hanging out. And she participated in my project, and she described that when she was 4, her grandmother had given her a Teletubby stuffed animal. Do you guys know about Teletubbies, or is that? All right. Well, it was something that used to be cool. And so she had a Teletubby stuffed animal. And her grandmother actually passed away later, and she lost that stuffed animal. And of course, she could have probably bought another one, but she wanted the one her grandmother gave to her. So it was a lot of the objects were associated with certain people. So like, you know, maybe who gave it to you, or who it reminds you of. And so that's why they're valuable, not because they were worth like millions and millions of dollars or anything like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So moving on to our next topic. Today we are going to do the origami folds. And then my husband and author illustrator Greg Pizzoli is going to be talking to us about comics and giving some insider tips about how to create your own comic. And then I'm hoping you guys will have some time, because we won't be meeting for a little while, to maybe create your own short comic. So that's what we're going to do today. First of all, I'm talking about a word that maybe not everybody knows about, origami. Who knows what origami is? Does anybody know what origami is? Yeah? Brishab, I'm unmuting you.
It's like the Japanese art of folding to create different objects.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So it's a Japanese word, and it means folding to create something sculptural out of paper. And what I'm going to show you today is how to take a single sheet of paper, and it can be any kind of paper. It could be copy paper, it can be the thick cardstock, and we're going to turn it into a book. And over here, what we'll do with your first books is we'll talk a little bit, here 1 second, Rishabh, and then I'll call on you, okay? We'll talk a little bit about making a book that will talk about something that is your favorite thing that you own. And then I'll have you write in something that you lost. So maybe it's your camera or your penguin plushie or your crystal necklace. And then something that you wish you had. And for these ones, they'll probably be pretty realistic, right? So this one, your favorite thing is probably something that you already own. And then the thing you lost, obviously, that happened in real life. But for the thing that you wish you had, I want you to maybe think about something. You could do something realistic, like maybe I wish I had a soft serve ice cream machine, so I could just crank out my own ice cream cones whenever I wanted them. But you could also say something that isn't realistic. So for example, I wish I had a flying horse that would be able to get really big and really small. So it could get small so it could come and live in my bedroom, but it could get really big so that I could ride it when we're outside. So you could also pick something that, for this page, that is completely you know, out there. Doesn't have to be realistic. All right, so that'll be what we do with our first origami fold. And for this, you're going to need a few supplies. Let me go over my supplies. And actually, we're going to move over to my desk so I can show you. But on my desk, you can see it here. You're going to need some paper. So it could be copy paper, it could be thick paper. You're going to need some scissors. You are going to need something to draw with. Yep, you got it. All right, so like I said, for this part of the project, and I'm thinking we could all do this together, and we can do a few practice rounds, because sometimes it's a little bit harder to do this the first time, and then you get it when you have the second time. So I like to start out with paper that I don't really care too much about. This is just regular copy paper when I'm doing it for the first time. And so I'm going to put this other paper over here. So I have my piece of paper, something to draw with. I might just stick with a pencil for now. And I have my scissors. And I also made sure, what did I do with it? Last night to have a popsicle. So that way I could use it as my bone folder. So last time I talked about how a lot of book artists have these really cool tools called bone folders. Sometimes they're made of bone, sometimes they're made of Teflon. But you can also just use a popsicle stick, and it kind of does the same thing, which is helping you fold. You guys have your paper, so maybe we'll review this with Grace when she comes back. All right, so the first step for an origami fold is you have to fold in half, but rather than folding this way in half, you're actually going to do what's called hot dog fold. So I'm a vegetarian, so I call it tofu pup fold, but you do it the skinny way, basically. So we're folding it in half, but we fold it the skinny way. And I'm really checking out, like, did I line up my corners, this corner and this corner? Because the neater you fold, the nicer your book will turn out. So I folded in half the skinny way, called hot dog / tofu pup fold. And then I have my popsicle stick. So I fold it with my fingers, but now I can take my popsicle stick and press down and get a super nice crease along that edge. Nice crease. All right, next, you're going to open it up. And we're gonna fold hamburger style / veggie burger style. And make sure to line up these corners, because if you fold it like this, it'll kind of look, let me show you up here. You fold it and the corners aren't lined up, it won't work quite as well. So you wanna make sure corner and corner is nice before you fold down with your fingers. And then if you have a popsicle stick or a balloon folder, make a nice crisp edge. You can also use your thumbnail, and that works as well. Hi, Rishab.
I think I got it like this then.
Yes, that looks awesome. How do I do this? There we go. Applause. Very nice.
The first one, my folds were way better, but then I cut in the wrong spot.
That's why I tell everyone to do paper that you don't care about, because the first time is always the hardest time, right?
Yeah, but my folds are actually way better in the first time than my second time, but I just cut in the completely wrong spot.
I bet your third time the folds will be really great,
Yeah.
and you'll cut in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Zach, I think you're probably ahead of me, so I'm going to try to catch up to you. I'm going to
Not
start
the hamburger.
You're at hamburger? All right, I'm just doing hot dog. So I did my hot dog. You already did your hot dog, I take it, right? Yeah. You did your hot dog already?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Let me catch up to you. And now I'm going to do my hamburger. I have my hamburger. So this part, I think you know, Zach, you take 1/2 and you fold up that 1/2. All right. So let me do that. I'm folding up my 1/2. And then you flip it to the other side and you fold up that 1/2. Lining up your corners. And then once you have your bird, let me see it. So you're holding it from this middle part and you have wings on either side. Cool. All right. And then try to get those wings out of the way a little bit. And it's this part of the bottom of the bird that we want to cut. I think you might have cut from the top. I think that's what happened. Rishabh did it too. We've all done it. It's cool. That's why we use paper that isn't super expensive for the first ones. And you're going to be cutting just that middle part. Let's see if I have my scissors here. I do. From the fold, and then you have one pant leg here, one pant leg here, and then you push up. Ooh, you almost have it. Yeah, there it is, Zach. And then you kind of fold them down. You kind of find your cover. You're almost there. I can see it. It's happening. Just force it a little bit. Nice job, Zach. You did it. All right, I'm unmuting you, Rishabh.
So the third time, the last book was really bad. For some reason, the pages weren't lined up. So then I tried to trim it, which was an absolutely horrible idea because now all the pages just come out.
All right, well, I appreciate your experimentation, but it's true. So if you trim the parts that are folded here, it won't be connected anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Like, see, even mine, I literally have my master's degree in book arts, and even mine is a little off. So it's all right. It's a handmade book, and it doesn't have to be totally perfect. So
Okay, I'm just gonna use this one.
yeah, sure, use that one. All right, so I think Zach, Rishabh, you have your books. So I guess decide which part of your book will be your cover, right? I think you guys have your cover ready. And then on the first page, you're gonna write in, maybe on the top up here, you'll write in, because I'm gonna have you fill these out later, but can you write in on the first spread? The spread is, so here's my cover. A spread is when it's 2 pages, like this. So take something to write with. It can be a pencil, it could be a pen, and you're gonna write, my favorite thing is, and that will be your prompt for your first spread. So I'll just hold that up there for reference. And eventually, I'm hoping you'll fill in what your favorite thing is. And maybe you can write about it, or you could draw about it. Or you could do a border, the way I did a border here, if you want. So you're gonna write on that first spread, my favorite thing is. All right, the next spread. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm making like a cover with cardstock so that I can glue it in.
It's a great idea. Yeah, that'll look awesome. All right, so we did my favorite thing. And the next spread, you're gonna write, once I lost. And so on this spread, you'll start out just, you can just write that, and then you can fill it in later. The thing that you lost. And it will probably be your camera and all those photos that you had, or it will be your stuffed penguin plush, or it will be your crystal necklace. And then we'll get to our last spread, which will be, I wish I had. on our last spread. And then you guys will be free to fill these in. And I figured you could work on these while Greg talks to you for a little while. So you could be drawing and listening at the same time while he does that. Oh, did you just find it, Zach? Well, now you're gonna need a new object, huh?
Yeah. It was under the bed.
Look at that. I'm glad it came back to you. So do you have another thing that you lost that you wish you still had?
Yeah, I have multiple.
Well, all right. So on that second spread, were you able to write once I lost? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're done with that. Okay. Did you do on the last spread, I wish I had?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You guys are done. And remember, I wish I had, it could be something real. It could be something, you know, unreal, fantastical. So you guys work on that. I'm going to go get Greg. Actually, before I do that, I just want to go over one more thing. So this Lost and Found book, and feel free to keep working while I'm talking, that's fine. But this Lost and Found book, it's actually much bigger when you unfold it. So you can do bigger sheets too. So we just did ours today with a regular size sheet of paper, which is fine. But if you want to have a bigger book, you can use a bigger sheet in order. This is an 11 by 17 inch big sheet. And this is actually a printout. So here is the printout before it was folded down. And I wanted to show you guys, and continue working while I do this, but I wanted to show you a way that you could get these printouts if you do have a printer. You will be able to go to my website, kayhealy.com/handouts. And I'm going to put this in the chat right now. So kayhealy.com/handouts. Okay. And I have a bunch of different handouts that show you, for example, a handout that shows you how to do the origami fold. And I also have a handout where you can print out this Lost and Found book. And I also have one that is more specific to comics. I have one that's also about, this is the comics one. And then I also have one that's about the planets. So let's see. This one, when it folds down, it tells you all about the planets. So I'm going to show you here. I'll unmute you and then yeah.
I just went to the site and it says secure, you need a password.
Yes. Oh, you are so ahead of things. So it's true. So this is a secret special website. It's a secret special website where you need a password in order to get in. And I'm going to give you the secret special password, which is book arts. All right. And then I'm going to share my screen so you can see what that looks like. So share screen. We're going to go to my website. And I'll show you what it will look like. So here's kayhealy.com. But we want to go to this. So you can look at my art if you want. These are some big plant pieces I made. But also you can do /handouts. And oh, mine already signed in. Sorry, because I already did it. So, but you do need the password, which is book arts. And all of you have the password now. And in here, you can get all of these different templates. So that Lost and Found one, if you click on that, you could then, it'll load that Lost and Found template and you could print that out. Or if you're like, you know what, I forgot how to do the origami fold. Here's this one. And it'll give you instructions on how to fold it down. All right. Or later today, maybe you're going to be inspired by Greg Pizzoli and want to make a comic. So this one you could print out and it will make a little book that you'd be able to have those boxes in there so that you could make your own comic, and it already has the panels inside of it ready to go. You can also just draw them in too yourself. But feel free to go and check these out and print them out if you have a printer. I also have some speech bubble examples. So you can either copy these or trace these, or just some examples of how to make speech bubbles. And I think Greg will talk about that a little bit as well. So again, it's kayhealy.com/handouts, and the password is bookarts, all lowercase.